Welcome, traders, and thank you for joining me on this week's stock market plan analysis and, of course, outlook into this week. Short week we have coming up here. I hope you're all having a great weekend. We're going to, of course, look at some areas where we may want to engage the market and manage our risk. Short week ahead. So we're going to go over the economic calendar really quickly. Unfortunately, I cannot pull it up as I normally do, but not too much on the docket this week. Before we get into the charts, though, and the rest of the video, reminder that this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and in no way should be viewed as financial advice. So let's go over the economic calendar really quickly. We don't have much on Monday, November 20th. We have Fed President Barkin speaking around 12 o'clock. But on Tuesday, we do have FOMC minutes coming out at its regular time. So although it has not been the same type of market mover that we've seen in the past, we do want to keep an eye on that on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Wednesday, we do have initial jobless claims at 8:30. Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving, so I preemptively will be wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving. And Friday, we do have flash services PMI at 9:45, as well as U.S. manufacturing PMI for November, both of those at the same time. Since this is a short week, I think Monday and Tuesday will be more or less normal trading volume, but Wednesday, I certainly would watch out for decreased volume and even possibly on Tuesday, I must say. So, treat this week very cautiously. Maybe just trade the morning, in my opinion, and then go walk away. Many people are traveling for the holiday week anyway, so generally I don't expect much. Excuse me. Much from the market. My apologies. This week overall. So watch out for that slower price action. And keep yourself safe. So as always, we're going to start off here with the daily chart and see what we can take away from this perspective. Now, we've kind of just been hanging out right in this area of potential supply liquidity. Haven't really made too much a move in either direction here, but it's kind of, bullish or long until proven otherwise. And the main area, that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, is around this 484.25 area, right? You want to really, bulls want to see price stay over that level and then get over this pesky 451.34. Getting over that area, then can drive us a bit higher to this next zone here at this 453.84 or thereabouts. But you can see the multiple points of contact here where we have not been able to break through quite yet. So it is you do have to be very cautious here, in my opinion, on the long trade, because we could just stay trapped really in this zone as we either consolidate for a flag or we end up starting to distribute and we trap some of those late longs that are have entered in the market and really have not been rewarded with that much upside right now. So just be very careful. The other thing that we have kind of been looking at is how far extended we are from these short-term moving averages, right? This isn't necessarily what you want to see for new longs, in my opinion, being this pushed away from our 20, right? Look at all this space here. Oh, excuse me, actually, this is not look at all this space here, from the 20 all the way up to where current price action is, right? And then also here we have the same story, not as extreme of course, but still very extended from these moving averages. And really what you'd want to see is price a little bit closer, right, riding them like this here, or even here, you know, back during the summertime. When they get extended like this, you just have to be extra careful on the market. And we are also really still watching and monitoring these overbought levels here that we do have showing up on the daily chart. They can stay there, of course, but there are certainly reasons to be a little bit cautious. Of course, you know, the market right now is still overall bullish, but you know, just to be cautious moving forward. All right, you know, we kind of were talking about this in the last video, and really what I would, you know, prefer to see to really give us some nice risk to reward. Right now, we were talking about those swing highs from October, to really getting over those and creating that new weekly uptrend. I would love to see a retest anywhere back in this area here, and that's going to be something that I'll be watching for, you know, so that way we can, you know, a long trade can be a bit more enticing, because for me personally, I do not see a long trade up here. But you know, at least with any serious new money, just based on where the positioning here and the trade location, I don't want to be one of those late longs with a bad trade location and then get liquidated, and we fill this gap and come back down here, and possibly give us a way better setup for our long trade, right? And then we come down in here, and then we get a possible move. You know, I don't know if we'll break through, but, you know, at least in the upward direction. Even if we get stuffed here, I'll still, you know, it's an $8 move from about 440, at least from around here. Okay, that's a lot better. Or do I want to risk, you know, $2 to potentially come up to, you know, come up to 453.84? The risk to reward is not there for me. So, and, you know, I do think that we need still just a little bit of a comeback, a breather. We can come back, meet up with the moving averages, and then make that move. But as I was saying, as long as bulls still hold over basically 448, 448.25, it's hard to be, you know, it's hard to really, I don't think we're going to see that liquidation. And even if we got under that, we still could potentially, we have this 446 area here as well that it's worth keeping an eye on. So until really this breaks the 448 and 446, you know, it's a tough short in my opinion, but it certainly can be worked into after you see a break, or, you know, some type of a starter position here, and then adding into the position if we do actually start to enter that gap. And if we do, I'm pretty sure it would be filled pretty quickly, trapping those late longs. So we'll see how that works out. But as I mentioned, the new weekly uptrend has already, you know, taken place, being over these highs. So there's really no, even if we do fill that gap or come all the way down here, really no cause for concern at all. Nice confluence as it stands, though, with the weekly, the prior October swing highs and the 20 right here. Now, of course, this is going to move, but yeah, as it stands, if this was just hanging out here, what nice confluence for a long trade there if we do get into that zone. So, all right, let's take a quick look, though, at how the weekly candle actually closed. I'm pretty sure, I haven't taken a look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of a non-event candle here, probably some type of a doji type of situation. Let's see what we get. Okay. All right. Okay. I guess this was, oh yeah, this was the CPI. Okay. Yeah, obviously just a big candle up. Okay. I thought it's different chart. All right. Yeah, I mean, obviously just a huge candle here, taking it out. And nothing but strength here, just hanging out here in this area. So really not too much of a takeaway for me, other than just the continuation of this rally. Pretty nice momentum, though, I will say. That this bar, I would be a little bit more concerned if it was a smaller type bar. I was thinking, if we saw something like this, a candle like that, would be a little bit more concerning, showing me, hey, momentum might be slowing down a little bit. But at least from the weekly perspective, nope, it's even stronger than the prior week's candle, helped out by CPI. But as it stands, these ones on the daily are looking a little bit more tired, in my opinion. So, all right, let's move along. Take a look at some other. Let's take a look at our weekly fibs. See where we are on those. Let me go back to the weekly. All right, weekly through the POC still, and that's sitting at 441.92. We'll just call it 442 there. Coming up into value area highs though, and that's sitting around 450, 452.91. We'll just call it 453 there. So we're watching how price, if we do come up into that area, how price starts to react as we move into those value area highs. But from the weekly fib perspective, we're good all the way down to 433. So, not too much to be concerned with there. And we're starting to get a little curl, a little cross here from the weekly 9 and 20. Another positive sign overall for the markets, and the strength really returning back into the market now. But you can see here, though, this is at least a decent example of what I was talking about earlier. You see here how price is riding the moving averages, riding, and look what happens here when we get too far away. That's when we start to have some regression, right, to the mean. So this is healthier price action. When we're up here and the space gets very broad, very wide, that's when things can get a little bit more tricky. So, all right. So weekly chart looking good, except for value area highs being just right above. Let's take a look at our daily fibs here and see what we can take away from that point of view. And let's go into that chart here. Okay. And yeah, here, as long as we're holding from this perspective, we were kind of already talking about this 446 area earlier. Nice confluence there with our other level. On our other daily chart, and the 23.6. So again, losing that 23.6, staying under, and we'll be watching for moves back down in the gap. I'm wondering, the market's been so strong. I wonder if we don't even fill the whole gap. We just get halfway, kind of meet up with the 9 here, and then continue. That's not ideally what I would want to see, at least from that risk to reward. I mean, it's a little bit of a better long for the risk to reward, but I'm personally would really love that 38.2 swing high, right there around that 438 and right at those October swing highs. So that's really what I would love to see, but market can do whatever the hell it wants. But as I was mentioning, from as long as we stay over 446, everything's looking good for potential continuation. But so far, it is still, again, looking just a little tired to me. We have gotten back over this key trend line here, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. As long as this trend line holds, should be okay. But breaking under, then we'll have to watch out, and then probably have a chance to get into that 446 area. So we shall see. All right, let's move right along here. What do we have from this viewpoint? Okay, same trend line, just basically sitting right above. But again, here's that 442 or 452 hanging out right here. So I don't know. Again, I'm not sure if this close over this trend is 100% legit yet. It hasn't really convinced me, although it's truly fighting on. It does feel a little tired, as I mentioned, but everything's going to depend on whether we really can start to get over these key points for that continuation. All right, here, let's go into... Oh, I didn't calculate this week's range just quite yet. I will do that. I'll post that on my Twitter. Okay, let's go into our daily trend and channel here. 451, still watching. Yeah, not really too much to take away from this point of view now that this downtrend has been broken, other than the fact that we are just trading back inside of this bigger picture channel that we wanted to kind of recapture for that bullish scenario. So everything's good as far as that's concerned, and we'll just see if how we continually trade along the next few sessions. I'm going to throw on one more point contact here. Boom. Okay. So, still hanging just above it. Alright, let's keep it moving along. If we have any other points of view we want to take a look at. The winter-fall downtrends have been obliterated, so there's nothing there. And I think that's about it for the daily charts. We've got a big gap here. Alright, we could take a little peek about what's going on here. I have to extend these pivots. So I will do that at another time, but I want to bring this one over as it is. I'll bring over the most pertinent ones here. Oh, shoot. A little crooked. There we go. And we'll bring over this one right here. Okay. All right, so the bottom side here that we want to watch is going to be 447.75. So pretty much around that 448. And our high side is going to be, this thing would move, 452, basically around 450, basically 452, 451.86. So, yeah, we will, you know, those are, again, we're just seeing multiple kind of points of confluence here over the same levels that, that are important. So, all right. Not too much to go over from this view. That's fine. All right, cool. But I think these two areas here can be important because really what we'll be watching for is, you know, whether we break out of this range and in what direction we break out of this range. You know, do we get the continuation here or here? Because, you know, as we've kind of gone over, you know, markets are either running or resting, consolidating or trending. And right now we are obviously in this tight consolidation range. So just be careful. I mean, it's certainly a tradable range, but you still want to be nimble and not really get too trapped on one side. Because the moment that this range breaks, if it breaks to the downside and you're just, oh, I'm buying every dip, you're going to get one of those downtrend days and you're just going to get smoked. So, you know, please just be very careful of that. And, you know, let's keep it day by day, and, you know, the market can keep running or it could crash, you know, or it does whatever the hell it wants, right? Doesn't matter what we think. All right, let's get into some other charts here because I think that's all I really wanted to cover because we've just been hanging out in this damn level, in this damn area. Take a quick peek at our other daily chart. Same thing, 52. We'll be watching for 447.40 to hold here. Under that 450, 445, and 90, 85, we'll call it, and 444. So we'll watch this supply level, but that's it. All right, let's go into some of our internals right now. We'll take a look at those. Let's start off with the VIX here and our put to call ratio. Put to call ratio flatline, just really at its normal level, has really not changed, around that 74 area here. VIX continuing to just kind of in this holding pattern here. Again, as long as it stays under 16, 1575, really no cause for concern on the volatility front. So yeah, I mean, I see the VIX here. In my opinion, is just unless we get over that, there's really no reason to be too concerned about the volatility. Well, we are still holding in this kind of oversold area, and it's getting pretty deep here. So we'll be watching this. It can stay down here, of course, but wouldn't start to surprise me to see this maybe start to curl upwards and potentially start to turn green. But for me, until we get over that 1575, really nothing too positive to say about the VIX. So this is good for the bullish case to still be on the table. All right, let's move on here and take a look at. There were a couple of. Actually, let's go back. I just wanted to take a quick look because we are actually at an interesting spot, and this kind of comes into the breadth here. We're making some good. I like looking at the RSP. This is the equal weighted SPY basically, and we're in this very interesting area here where we've seen multiple points of contact. Now we are over 140. This is good. But this 146 area, is going to be very tricky to get through. I do like the fact that we really have recaptured most of the moving averages. And the other thing is on the daily chart, we are not really showing any oversold, overbought conditions just quite yet. It's just starting to get into it. And we did get back over the 200 SMA here. So this is good. This is showing a little bit more equal participation in a broader participation, I should say, in the entire market here with these improvements on the RSP, and we're going to go over that when we go into the breadth readings in a moment. However, we are still, this is, doesn't mean I'm thinking the market's going to crash, or just, wanting to point out where we are as far as a location is concerned. And we are at a very interesting spot here, right at this around this 446, 146 area, can potentially be a little bit of a trouble zone, right? We're retesting, come on, right here, and we're retesting this head and shoulders neckline, right? So this right here, we had, this head and shoulders right here, we had broke, it caused us to sell down, and now we're coming back and back testing that prior break of structure, right? So this is a very interesting spot for the RSP to be in right now. Again, look, you can see all the points of contact here along this area. Just gotta move the chart by accident, sorry. All the points of contact that we have had in this area. So again, just a very interesting spot to be in. And why isn't my drawing tool working now? Okay, there we go. Very interesting spot to be in here, and hopefully I'm not gonna point them all out, but you can see all the times that we had touched here, and here we are once again. So Can we break through? I am not sure. But I just, I bring this up so that way we can just really see where we're at, what's going on, and just put all these data points together to make the best decisions that we can, possibly while we go through these markets together, right? All right, so let me go back now and into some of our other data points that we like to look at. All right, so since we were just talking about the breadth, let's take a look at the new highs versus new lows here and see where we are standing from this point of view. Okay, we're still holding over the zero line, so I would say that is looking good. And as long as we hold over the zero line here, everything is looking fine, in my opinion. And certainly we could break down a little bit. We did on the 10th, a little bit under, but easily recaptured and still just moving along. So everything's looking good here. No cause for concern from the market breadth perspective on the new highs versus new lows. Okay, so let's keep it moving along here and take a look at the SPX A200R as well as the SPX A50R, and everything's looking good here, still above that 50% line on the 50R here, looking good. No cause for concern. Maybe we'll keep an eye on what happens if we start to get readings into the 74 spot. That could be somewhere where I'd want to keep an eye on what happens around there, as we have had some trouble in the market when we started getting these readings. It's certainly not extreme, but we have seen some stalls in that zone before, so I will keep a watchful eye on that. And right now we're sitting at 70% of the stocks are trading above the 50. So not that much farther to go on that. So let's take a look here at the 200R and the amount of stocks that are trading over the 200 period simple period moving average are about 50%. We're just getting through the 50, so this is improving, but it's not, it's 50, it's 59.89, so it's not really convincing me. I want to see this really well over the 50, 53, something like that, 55. Feel a little bit more comfortable, but this could very easily, right from this 50, just roll back over and start to pull back a little bit. It'd be nice. I'm wondering if we can get, if this starts to come back down. And of course, the 200 is a lot slower to react. But if it came down to that 43% reading, kind of came in here and retested the top of these little highs, and then we can make that move higher. That would be nice. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'm not 100% convinced with this close over the 50% marker. But we'll see how what happens. Again, I'm not really thinking too much is going to happen this week, but we shall see. All right, let's take a look at the transports here and the Dow. What can we see from this perspective? All right, still holding over. The main thing that was kind of the thing that was concerning me, right? Look again where we are right now in the Dow. We are coming into this next big area at this 35. This 35. What is this? 46 area, and we've seen multiple points here where we've had some issues. We're basically retesting. It's very similar to the RSP, retesting a prior structure breakdown here from back in the summertime. So this will be interesting. The other thing is, though, that still the transports are still kind of saying to me, hold on. This could still be a little bit of a canary in the coal mine. The fact that we did come up, but we just basically hit here around this 216 area to make an equal high, right? We kind of triple topped and stalled out here. This was the thing that we really wanted to see improve, because we had the Dow, as you can see, getting over those swing highs, making a new higher high, but it has not happened in the transports yet. This is still a divergence that I am going to be watching. You want to see us get over those October swing highs. Hasn't happened yet in the Dow, so in the transports. I don't like this divergence personally. I want to see these in sync, and they are not. All right. So that is one potential bearish indication, but many other bullish ones for the bulls. So let's go along here. What else do we have? I'm going to take a quick peek at corporate bonds here and see how they're doing. I think we broke out of that divergence last time we looked. And yes, we did. So really nothing kind of too much to speak for here. These are kind of coming up. It's almost a positive divergence. So these are coming up now, and S&P is kind of looking a little bit flatter. So that's a little bit interesting. You can see this is kind of curling down while this kind of curling up, kind of stagnant. But no major divergences here really to speak of. So this is all fine. All right, let's move along. What else do we have? All right, let's close it out with the VIX, our VIX futures here, and our VVIX. Take a broader look at volatility in the markets. I did update the contract for this, although why does it look like it didn't update? I thought this was supposed to be, this is supposed to be F. I'm pretty sure here. Okay. Maybe not. All right. Well, we'll have to skip this one. I'm going to look it back up. I thought I could have sworn it was F, and I had it before we did the video, and I don't know why it's gone now. But needless to say, we're probably still in contango. So, but I did want to look at these VIX futures. Let me just. I'm not going to pull it up now. All right. Maybe I'll post something about this to see, but this is not. It's not loading for whatever reason. All right, VIX in 9-day though, of 9-day versus the monthly, just coming down. So everything looking good here. Well, we want to see what happens when we get into this negative 377 area. But we are not quite there yet. Still a little bit more to go. So this is still says volatility. It will be lower. Same thing here with the VVIX. Kind of just hanging out at the 80 area. 75 really is where it gets a little bit, you would start to look at that as a potential contrarian signal. But we're not quite there yet, just kind of hanging out. So everything's looking good as far as the VVIX is concerned. Bullish data point on both these markers. And I am really not sure why. This is kind of annoying that this futures contract is not. Maybe I have the wrong one. All right, I'll go back to it. All right, let's go into. I think that will cover it for all of our other data sets that we have been looking at. Yeah, I think so. We're good there. All right, so let's get a little bit more granular now and take a look at the S&P. Let's start off with the daily, with our day trading fibs as we move along in our video and see what we can take away from that perspective as far as for some levels that we will be watching, or I will be watching, I should say, into next week. But again, less trading, it's going to be a short week. I might not even trade Tuesday. We'll see. Maybe I'll just trade Tuesday in the morning. I'll try maybe one trade Wednesday. A lot of people will be traveling. I really don't expect much on Wednesday at all. So consider it an extra holiday. And honestly, Friday, I don't expect much either. I'll probably be taking the day off on Friday as well. So um, let's see. All right, so let's take a look at our ranges here on our fibs. And this is going to be, of course, a lot more granular than the bigger picture levels we were looking at before. But let's see if we also have any confluence areas, right? Okay, so as long as we really hold over 440, 450, we can even say 448, 75. As long as we hold over that, not really too much reason to be that worried. When we start breaking under there, okay, then we can look to trade back into this for a lower part of this fib balance zone. And that could take us down back into retesting that 448.50. Under that 448.50, though, have to watch out. We can start seeing selling to come back down. Maybe we only come down into Tuesday's lows here. So maybe only into the 447.50 area. I'm going to mark that off just to have it on my chart here. Okay, boom. If we do break under that 447.60 area, then we're looking for it back down into basically 447, 446.86 is going to be our 38.2 extension, retracement, and then under that we'll be looking for potential moves back into our 50% retracement around 445.50. And I believe once, as we mentioned before, under that 446 is when it can start to get interesting. So from that daily chart perspective, so certainly under that 445.50, I don't think it would be that hard to start to retrace into 444.20 area. But if you notice also here, as we talk about, again, some poor structure that really was created from that CPI print here. Look at this gap here on the daily profile. This is not what you want to see from a market structure perspective or volume. This would be very easy if we start seeing some sells, very easy to fill in here. So again, this is just another. Now, again, we could break up over, over these highs and start to rally. But again, you just want to be very careful, because if we start to enter into this area, and you keep trying to buy dips, you're gonna, you're really gonna do some damage. So you have to be very careful. As I've been mentioning this whole video, we're still technically bullish till proven otherwise. And again, we could retrace all the way down to 438 and still be perfectly fine. From the bull case, no cause for concern unless we really took out those the swing highs from October. That is going to be so important. But until that happens, we can retrace, pull back all we want. It's still going to be ultimately a long market once again. All right, so let's go into some of our balance zones, and then we will close out the video. We've gone over everything here, so that is good. Let's keep it rolling along here. Boom. Okay. Oh, you know what I might have not done? I didn't extend these. But that's fine. All right, so here are our levels that we pretty much will be watching. Again, we probably a slow week here, so we could just continue to trade in this balance. Here's our 450 again. We were talking about that 449. 75, I think 450. So we want to stay over that. If we stay under, then we'd be looking for sells back down into this 448 50 area, 448 75. We very confluence there again with our fibs that we were just looking at, and under that, if we do start to really break underneath, looking for sells down into 447.50, 447.20, 25 area. Under that's going to take us down into 446, and then below that 445.50 would be my next level, and then 445. even, we really start to take out this pre-market high right here, this basically that 442 that we've already been discussing from those bigger picture perspectives. We will look for trades coming up higher. We could, obviously this is an idea of shorting into this top part of balance that could, potentially work out if we are trending up. But if we do break over, and certainly if we take over 150, 140, 152, it's going to put a lot more hurt on the bulls, and potentially will come up to that 153, that 453, 453.40, and then 353.72. One can consider a potential, could consider a potential short trade there up against that balance, looking for moves probably back down into retest this 452 area here is probably what I would assume, and then another potential long there if that held. Another idea, of course, if we're coming up here, we look for the short into 450, to looking for the short from 50. It's only $1 move, but it could work. Right here we're only risking 40 cents or so for that chance for $1, so that's good on the risk to reward. Obviously if you're short, you don't know what's going to happen. It could bounce again off that 450. Maybe we get a little bounce and a higher excuse me, a higher low, and then we make that continuation move down into the 448 51 zone. So we shall see on that, but just watch out, because right now, again, this is just kind of the range we have been trading in. So until really we can get a move in either direction, it's going to be hard to see a bigger move, which I don't particularly anticipate, but who knows, maybe they give us a Thanksgiving week surprise, right? All right, guys. Well, that's all I've got for you on this video. I really want to say thank you to all my followers and everyone who joins me on these videos every week. Remember that a prepared trader is a profitable trader, so make sure you plan your trades and trade your plan. Be smart this week. And again, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving with loved ones. Let's take that time, of course, to be extra grateful for what we have, and certainly for what we get to do. I'm certainly so grateful that I get to make these videos and share my thoughts, and that anyone gives a damn what I have to say. So again, that really, truly, truly, truly means so much to me. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for caring about anything I have to say. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great holiday. Let's have a good trading week, and enjoy a nice time away from the markets this week, as we'll just hopefully be trading very little in the morning, and then that's it, if at all, right? I mean, you could just take the whole week off, to be honest. Anyway, and if you are traveling, be safe. So I hope you have safe travels as well. All right, guys, take care. That's it for me. Like the video, subscribe if you want, and that's it. All right, bye-bye.